I was brought on board this project both as an archaeologist but also as somebody with a kind of an artistic leaning, so that I could perhaps have a different angle on recording the project. The Palace Boy vessel is an Iron Age artefact that was discovered in Tor Bog in Westmeath in the year 2000 as part of Bord na Móna harvesting. The Archaeological Wetland Unit would have excavated it. It's a vessel in that it's a wooden container, not necessarily a boat, but some people still think that might be a possibility. So it was excavated and it's partially conserved now in the National Museum storage facility in Swords. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to create a replica of it through using Iron Age replica tools and using a master woodworker to kind of shed some light on the experience of woodcraft in the Iron Age and what challenges people may have come up against using, let's say for example, fresh wood, and to learn about how difficult it was, how long it took, things like that, but also to get an insight into the experience of both making it and observing it. For other people to observe one of these things being made is also a part of it.
It's on
the bottom now.
Yeah, I know, but I just want to see if it'll...
Because there's more than one theory as to what it was used for. Like some people think it was used to heat water, and there was evidence from some grit in it that the hot rock technology kind of technique, like Fulach de Fia, they would have heated rocks in a fire and then heated water in different containers in prehistory, and this may have been used for that as well. It may have been a multifunctional object as well. One thing we know for certain is that it's a very special object. So one archaeologist that we've been in communication with thinks it may still have been a river-going vessel, either to be towed behind another vessel, or somebody might have waded in a marsh and towed it behind them. So we want to test this theory by putting some weight in it in water, and perhaps put a person in it with a paddle to see if it possibly could be operated as a canoe.
Unless you're meant to ride it like this.
I trained as an archaeologist, and I worked as an archaeologist for 14 years, but I always had an interest in the arts, and I was a photographer kind of in the background. So I went. I always wanted to go to art college. So I went back to art college to do a master's in art in the Crawford College of Art and Design. And I suppose when I came back into archaeology in this research project capacity, I not only brought my archaeological experience, but I brought my kind of open-minded, cross-disciplinary artistic approach. Not only was I recording the project and I had a responsibility to document it photographically and video-wise, I was also thinking of unusual ways to document the project. So, for example, I had a sound art event here in the museum with the vessel where I invited 3 experimental percussionists to interact with the vessel, which wouldn't be a typical thing to do for an archaeology project. And I'm also thinking of using some of the sounds of the making to create a kind of a background soundtrack to a spoken word piece by the woodworker. We're reducing his diary into a kind of a spoken word account of the making, and then we're going to put the sounds of the making behind it. So that kind of thing. It's kind of I suppose I'm trying to find alternative ways to document the project that aren't typical.